Hey, hey, ho! Well, hello there. It's Gary Lucas back in the saddle here in the West Village. And we had a wonderful trip visiting a friend of ours out in darkest Long Island. This was the first time in 6 months I'd been out of the city. And what a pleasure it was to get out of here. I mean, out of this stifling atmosphere. I could use a more colorful witticism here, courtesy of an Argentinian friend of mine. But I don't want to be vulgar. Anyway, yes, we love New York, as the song goes. But there's also another song, How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away, or If I Don't Go Away. This can apply to city as well as interpersonal relations. And suffice to say, it did us a world of good, Caroline and I, and we felt really happy. And now that we've gained new wisdom and perspective, I'm back. And today I'm going to play just solo acoustic, albeit through an amp. I might turn on the effects a little bit too. When I was broadcasting out there in a safe house in darkest Long Island on Saturday, I was of necessity thrown back on my own devices because I didn't have an amplifier or the pedals. And people seemed to really like it, and I was also going through the actual mic on the iPhone 11, which, I was pressured to get this Blue Yeti by, well, a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, and I'm not saying it hasn't improved the sound, but it is a temperamental little beast in that I have to keep adjusting levels, and there's something beautiful about the compressor in the iPhone 11 mic. And anyway, it was a good old intimate blow on the acoustic, and so I think I'll continue in this tradition, but here I'm going to do something to start off with a little bit of a psychedelic tinge. that's an old Jewish folk song, Hine Matov U'Manayim. How good it is to dwell in this house. Bless this house. This house of mine I've lived in. I moved in here in 1977. So what is that? That's about 43 years now. And they still haven't been able to force us out. We have a crazy neighbor on the other side of our wall who was very disturbed by Lulu's barking when we got Lulu. And tried to gang up on us, but we beat it back legally. And for those of you who are dog lovers living in New York, the actual rule here is that a dog has to bark for 10 minutes of continuous barking after 11 p.m. for there to be an actionable offense. And so here we stay. But let's say it was a challenging period. It cost us money and legal fees hiring a lawyer to look all this stuff up and to argue with the co-op board. But no, they couldn't. They can't push me out. I'm not going until I'm good and ready to go. And so welcome to our home. And I'm sitting in the actual historic spot where I wrote most of my great music that you know and love, such as the music with Jeff Buckley, and rehearsed all of that Beefheart music and so on and so forth. Since 1977, I moved to New York. I think it was May 1977 with my first wife, Ling. And we only found this place because we had friends living nearby and we wanted to be near them. And in those days, you had to get up really early in the morning on a Wednesday before 7 to get the first edition of the Village Voice, where one would scan the real estate listings in the back. And I saw a thing for a one-bedroom apartment, a rental. We ran over here, I guess, by 8, and we got first dibs on it. And it was at the then staggering sum to me in 1977 of $495 a month. And I was like, gee, I don't know how we're going to swing this. Because I had no visible means of support at that time, albeit I wrote a couple of reviews for a Circus magazine. God, where are they, for a guy named Bob Rudnick. What happened to him? He used to have a radio show on WFMU with his partner Dennis Frawley. And I don't know, I think it was for $25 for the review. I didn't even get that money. I think he scammed it. And but somehow or other, I was able to swing it. I know I got a lot of freelance work at CBS Records, courtesy of my old friend Susan Blond. And maybe she's tuning in, I don't know, she's on Facebook. But I was up there visiting her in her office at BlackRock, which is the otherwise known as the Death Star, the Eno Saarinen designed obelisk of black marble, sort of not unakin to the 2001 monolith, but with offices installed in it, with windows and all, metallic walls that are movable, and anyway, a lively place, a hub of activity in New York. Though they moved the record company out of there shortly after I left in 1990 over to another imposing edifice on 57th Street and Fifth Avenue. But that's another story. So anyway, I was up there, and I knew Susan from the Rock Writers of the World convention, which I recently posted something about, of having a renaissance of trawling through old articles that I wrote and tapes that I got in my collection, trying to digitize everything. Now the rock writing, most of it, there's some more still to come that I'm trying to gather. That's on my website. That's where you should go to look at it. I've posted some pieces, and then some of you guys were griping that you couldn't read this Jeff Beck, the review of the Beck, Bogart, and Appice album. Well, it wasn't my scan, Arthur Levy. Take that. The scan is perfectly fine, and if you go to GaryLucas.com, just go to a news section called Early Rock Writings, and you can enlarge, you wouldn't even need to enlarge it, a pristine copy of the reviews. So we did it at 300 DPI, folks, which is a very good high-res scan, as they say. And, well, anyway, so there's some other tapes. Go to SoundCloud. I just dug up a tape of a band I had in Taipei, Taiwan, for a couple of years called the Obegon Band, which is Taiwanese for the bullshit band. Well, basically, people say Obegon a lot in Taiwanese, meaning you lie or bullshit. You know, it's like a very popular expletive. And I assembled a crack outfit with my friend Hank Frisch on harmonica. He's featured on the new tape. A boy from Shaker Heights who knocked on the door of my apartment. This is the day right after I discovered that Tim Buckley had OD'd by tuning into the Armed Forces radio. You know, I was gloomy, and suddenly there's a knock on the door, and in walks this beautiful guy who played blues harmonica, who heard me playing the guitar earlier and wanted to jam, and so we had a lot of musical adventures. Among them, this band. The other Caucasian person in the band was Jesper Godelius, an amazing rhythm guitarist, very cheerful, big, gentle giant of a guy who was a whiz and fluent in Japanese and getting very fluent in Mandarin Chinese. He was being groomed to take over his father's industrial strength organization based in Japan when he got of age, and they thought it would be useful for him to learn these languages. But he basically liked to have fun and play the guitar, so we formed this band with two Taiwanese guys, Peter Ang and Aldo Tsang on bass and drums respectively, and thus the Obegon Band was born. We're basically a covers band. I didn't really attempt to start writing my own material until the mid-90s. I was a latecomer. I mean, I wrote a few pieces, but not real songs or anything. But I think we had a very interesting repertoire. Everything from Diana Ross's Love Hangover, especially the extended double time coda, to Freddie King's The Stumble, and all points in between. So check out that tape. It's not bad quality, actually. I was hearing it last night, about 1 in the morning. So I didn't write down the list of my pandemic patrons. It'll have to be for the next show, but thanks everybody who pitched in. I really appreciate it. We've been doing a brisk business with the download for sale of my arrangement of the Rolling Stones' She's a Rainbow on acoustic guitar. And if anybody sends me a minimum of $20 today, if you don't have this already, I will personally transfer you a WAV file of this track. And it ties in with a new review I wrote for the Please Kill Me folks at pleasekillme.com. It's a very great and hip site for writings about music, contemporary and otherwise. And I have a piece in there last week that went up on the death of Brian Jones. There's a beautiful new documentary called Rolling Stone, right? The Brian Jones story, or something like that, directed by Danny Garcia. And thanks Danny and Ann Leeton and Mike Schnapp for posting it today on their page on Facebook. You really should see this doc. I'm told there was another one on the Smithsonian Channel. It's a Brian Jones fiesta, man. I mean, he's everywhere. His spirit hovers high over us, as well it should, because he was really one heck of a creative guy and a style council exponent and a dandy par excellence, my kind of guy. So I'm even looking right now at, I have a picture sleeve single here, I'll get it off the wall, if they don't all fall down. Here is the original, oops, falling apart, but I'm gonna pin it back together. Here's the original picture sleeve of the 45, the US 45 on London Records of Have You Seen Your Mother Baby, standing in the shadows with a beautiful fisheye lens featuring Brian in a pink pinstripe suit. And the back is the infamous Rolling Stones in drag shot, which is, they were kind of trendsetters there. I mean, I think it was actually probably an inspiration for the Mothers for their subsequent album, We're Only In It For The Money, which originally had them on the cover it was the inside cover, all in drag, with Frank looking particularly fetching, but the cover was a parody of Sgt. Pepper, and due to potential lawsuits, they had to make the outside cover the interior cover, and thus it went. But all right, well, you can see I love the Stones, and I'm gonna do a version now, not of the Stones, but of a piece by Dvorak, his Largo from the Ninth Symphony, from the New World Symphony, and this is prompted because I have a fine guitar student, Eric Levine, who wanted to teach me my arrangement, wanted me to teach him my arrangement. I taught myself this, so anyway, I hope he got it to his satisfaction. We pitched it up a little bit because I've been playing it in a low detuned C tuning, and the strings don't really hold the pitch that well, but here we go. I'm sure you will recognize this. I'm really going to do this precise for you. Never say I never wanted to tune out. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, that'd be available on an album called Gary Lucas Plays Bohemian Classics, which you can download from The Orchard. It's one of the, I have about 18 albums up with these digital distributor. It's on the Rare Lumiere label. It originally came out on vinyl on Faust Records, and if you go to GaryLucas.com, they may still have, talk to Tanya, my webmaster, she may have a couple of vinyl copies left. But it's really among my best work, I think, and Eric, my guitar student, is urging me to relearn all this music that was meant to be played once. I didn't really anticipate a lot of concerts based on this record, but I did tackle all four movements of the New World Symphony on it, and I played it on steel guitar, the other three, other than this movement, Largo. And so he's hell-bent on me teaching him the other movements, so I have to get all that music back under my fingers. And I'm involved in all sorts of things. Things are exploding all around me. I have a young singing protege who I'm very excited about working with. We're going to go in the studio soon, with masks, of course. And there's some actual live gigs on the horizon. Keep your fingers crossed. That would entail me crossing an ocean, which would be a wonderful thing indeed. And anyway, until that time, I'll be here. Well, I'll be playing for you Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays without fail forever, wherever I am, if I possibly can. You know, time depending, because I love doing it. It's really something I probably should have started doing a long time ago. But anyway, thanks very much for tuning in today. And tune in again on Thursday, and I might go back full electric for you. I was going to play at the Window, the original location that I had for forever for the first 30 or so of these live concerts, but there's so much construction going on over there. Let me see. It's pretty noisy. Yeah, they're out there. If I open the window, I also get a blast of sawdust and other pollutants. Well, okay, anyway, thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. Big hugs. And please visit the virtual tip jar. And a copy of She's a Rainbow will be winging its way to you forthwith. Okay, see you on Thursday now. Bye.